Fighting in the shadows of this success are two unheralded champions. Both deserving respect, both worthy of recognition, and both chasing the fame and fortune so often found in the movies. Jose Luis Castillo. His record includes 2 world titles and over 50 wins, with 1 over Joel Casamayor. Yet he's known only to the most ardent of boxing fans. Julio Diaz. He may be the former IBF lightweight champion, but he has yet to enter boxing's big time. The winner could get a chance at stardom. The loser, a ticket back to anonymity. Next.
Tonight, we return to the undisputed boxing capital of the world. Yes, America's Fight Night is back on the legendary Las Vegas Strip for a World Championship doubleheader. It's Showtime's version of March Madness as the talent-rich lightweight division grabs the spotlight. As we make our way indoors to the Mandalay Bay Event Center, which has been the scene for so many world title fights through the years, this evening a fight fan's delight, as this latest edition of Showtime Championship Boxing presents a pair of potentially explosive matchups. It's Fight Night in Vegas. In our main event, 2-time world champion Jose Luis Castillo will put his WBC lightweight crown on the line against former IBF lightweight titleist Julio the Kid Diaz, the winner to face WBO lightweight champ Diego Corrales. And in our co-feature, you'll see the powerful Jeff Left Hook Lacey defend his IBF super middleweight belt as the undefeated champion takes on once-beaten Ruben, Mr. Hollywood Williams. Hello again, everybody. Steve Albert ringside from Las Vegas. We're really not sure whether it happened in a boxing movie or in a sweaty gym somewhere in Philadelphia, but many a left hook ago, some crusty old boxing sage declared that big fights make more big fights. Never has that been more evident than in today's lightweight division, where Showtime Championship Boxing is in the midst of airing one top-shelf championship fight after another. It's turning into a round-robin punch-a-thon with pound-for-pound stars Joel Casamayor, Acelino Freitas, Diego Corrales, and Jose Luis Castillo trading knockout shots in an effort to gain dominance at 135 pounds. And a short time ago, the arrival of Mexico's Jose Luis Castillo, generally regarded as the best fighter in a wide-open division. Castillo apparently determined to keep punching until he's the last lightweight standing. Always respected as a tough guy, initially underrated because he served as the chief sparring partner for the fabled Julio Cesar Chavez. Then he had to overcome a pair of close decision losses to the masterful Floyd Mayweather. But 5 years after he first won a version of the world title, Castillo is still here. And tonight he faces California's Julio Diaz alongside older brother Antonio, a welterweight contender. There on the left of your screen, Julio gave up his share of the title to duke it out with Castillo. 6 years younger than Castillo and perhaps fresher as well. Diaz, a versatile lightweight who can win in many ways. What separates him from Castillo is a lack of experience against championship caliber opposition. There are no Joel Casamayors or Floyd Mayweathers on Diaz's side of the ledger. Safe to say that in Castillo, Diaz is moving way up in class and tackling the toughest opponent of his 7-year career. And with that, let me bring on my ringside partner, Al Bernstein. And Al, curious to get your overview of the lightweight division.
Well, you know, much is being made about the junior welterweight division, which is certainly a spectacular division, maybe be the best in boxing, but I'll tell you what, the lightweights are almost as good. You know, you have Diego Corrales waiting in the wings. Acelino Freitas reinventing himself for yet another charge at that division. And Joel Casamayor, of course, still there as a contender. And I think tonight's show really demonstrates the depth of this division, because here's Julio Diaz stepping in for Diego Corrales. And guess what? This fight is just as entertaining as the first one would have been. So, Steve, I think the lightweights have as much talent, certainly at the top of their division, as any in boxing.
All right, Al, we're looking forward to the main event. And right now, let's get more on Diego Corrales, who's certainly interested in the outcome of tonight's main event. We go to the latest inductee to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In fact, he's still shaking off the wet cement. Jim Gray, congratulations, Jim.
Steve, thank you very much. It was a great day for me and my family. As for Diego Corrales, well, he thought he was going to have this fight tonight. In fact, he thought he was going to have it back in December. But he has been plagued with managerial and trainer problems. In fact, he has been plagued with all kinds of promotional problems, and that has kept him from right now having this fight. The news for Corrales is, however, he is signed to fight the winner of the main event in May. It'll be here in Mandalay Bay. He was too upset to come tonight. He's staying in Los Angeles where he is training, and he's watching the fight tonight with his trainer, Joe Goosen. Steve?
All right, Jim, thanks very much. Corrales hasn't fought since he beat Acelino Freitas back in August 2004. Al, could the inactivity be a factor for Chico?
There's no question Diego Corrales is a better fighter when he's active, and that's true of most fighters. And when he signed on with Gary Shaw, he took over the promotional duties, that was a big mission to make him very active. However, when you have a big puncher, which Corrales is, it negates that just a little bit, and hey, he'll have to roll the dice in May.
All right, so Diego Corrales will soon see who he'll be fighting on May 7th here on America's Fight Night. Castillo versus Diaz later tonight in our main event. But first up, we close in on the IBF Super Middleweight Championship as the explosive Jeff Left Hook Lacy takes on relatively unknown Ruben Mr. Hollywood Williams. Jeff Lacy surprised a lot of people when he became the first member of the 2000 U.S. Olympic boxing team to win a world title. Lacy's already defended that title, outpointing Omar Shika on Showtime in December. With longtime super middleweight titleist Joe Calzaghe threatening to move up and the 168-pound division virtually void of intriguing contenders, Lacy may have to wait for his defining fight. In the meantime, the best thing he can do is keep winning, and the best way to win is by knockout. Back here with Al Bernstein, how would you evaluate Lacy's recent performances?
Yeah, Jeff Lacy is pretty interesting. You know, he reminds me of a guy who was a little bigger in weight than him, but had a lot of the same qualities, and that is Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes was a terrific heavyweight champ, but he was somewhat vulnerable. That made it very interesting for the public, as it does with Jeff Lacy, but it also gives opponents hope. Tonight's opponent for Lacy, Ruben Williams, is taking a very big step up in terms of competition, but he's pinning his hopes on his ability to use his height, his reach, and some considerable boxing skills. And it's Lacy's job to counteract that with his strategy. Jeff Lacy shouldn't allow Williams to set a slower pace. He needs to make him respond to pressure. Now, early in the fight, body work will help Lacy break Williams down. Jeff Lacy's signature punch, the left hook, will work against Williams. Lacy's always looking to counter a mistake with his hook. Omar Sheikha had his right hand very low, getting ready to throw an uppercut. But Lacy was much quicker on the draw, and he would land his left hook. Williams is susceptible to this punch. Ruben Williams has to land something of consequence in the first 2 rounds, or else he'll be steamrolled. He can't let down for an instant in this bout, or Lacy's power will end it. Williams' right hand is his best weapon, and it's a punch Lacy can be hit with.
The world title debut of Ruben Mr. Hollywood Williams, a lifelong Detroit resident, one-time rapper who used to live down the block from rap artist Eminem. His impressive record built almost exclusively against limited opposition. Giant leap in class here. The one time he stepped up, hammered 42 seconds in by Epifanio Mendoza. In the amateurs, he lost 2 out of 3 to Lacy. They have a little history. Williams felt he won all three. Lacy said he didn't really remember the fights, but he's not taking Williams lightly. The affable Williams, Al, calls it a dream to get another shot at Jeff Lacy, but this perhaps from the category, be careful what you wish for.
Well, you know, as if he doesn't have enough obstacles, one of the other issues that Williams is facing is they really only had 3.5 weeks to prepare for this fight, and the rule of thumb is for a championship fight, you'd like to have 6.
Calls it a dream to get another shot at Lacy, but this perhaps, as we said, from that category, despite the daunting task, exuding confidence, saying they made a big mistake. Just because he doesn't have the exposure doesn't mean he can't fight. So he'll have to face the always engaging Jeff Left Hook Lacy. Just a nice, down-to-earth, easygoing guy who can take your head off in the ring, coming into some very easygoing Gloria Estefan music. Part of the entourage you notice behind